Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us for another episode of the Damn Podcast. This time we'll be doing some E3 predictions. As usual, my name is Corey, and joining me is my co-host.
Hello, it's just me today.
Hey Nick,
It's
thanks
been
for
a
coming.
busy schedule. Yeah. So Justin and Jamar are going to be out of town at the moment, but we still wanted to, yeah, go over some interesting things we've heard about.
Out of
It's
town.
E3 just a couple weeks ago. Oh
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
they're around,
yeah.
but
Could
yeah.
could might not be on the next episode. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no,
Um, but
permanently.
yeah, permanently out of town. On PTO, furloughed. Um, so what have I been up to right now? Not a whole lot. If you are frequently in the Discord, I've been moving, so things have been a little hectic for me. That's been a lot of my past couple weeks is just getting furniture set up, getting all my stuff moved. It's been a big move, but it's coming along. We're getting there. You may see my background, it's just stuff strewn everywhere, but
Some boxes out there.
it,
Yeah.
it's coming. It's coming along. Uh, been playing a little bit of Genshin and Final Fantasy, like the bare minimum. Uh, whenever time I can squeeze in, I'll play them. But outside of that, I did pick up Resident Evil 8. I haven't started it up yet, but I'm gonna get started on that, and I'm gonna continue my near replicant run. I took kind of a hiatus from that because, like I said, I mean the combat is just not too interesting to me. So that like past few episodes, but I'm trying to play it. I'll get there someday. I'll get it done. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. How about you, Nick?
So it's lined up that I've been watching a lot of superhero anime. Caught up on My Hero Academia, which is it's kind of just this tournament arc, but you get to see Team B's or Class B's powers, which are they're kind of memes, but they're interesting how they combine them and stuff. Uh, Finished season one and started and finished season two of One Punch Man, which was also interesting. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that already. Yeah, it's good. It seems to like end on a bit of a cliffhanger, so hopefully season three will be coming out too. Then also the big one, Invincible. Um, Turns out like One Punch Man, Saitama actually makes a cameo in one of the like where Robot is trying to get the new team recruitments. There's a guy that looks very much like Saitama in it, but it's a
Oh,
really good
okay.
show. Everyone has talked about it. It's really great. Father son bonding. The dad takes his kid to Subway. Eats some good food. It's a great show. And yeah, it's violent, but I think it does good to advance kind of the medium through that
Yeah,
through the
for
violence. But
sure.
it's good. Been playing Metopia too. Probably a little bit too much. It's fun. You can put on auto battle. You can put on speed up, and it's got enough JRPG sort of mechanics and stuff. It's just deep enough that it's interesting, and there's a lot of content still I haven't even got to even after playing it for a week or so, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
that's about it.
So let's dip into what we're excited for E3. I mean for me there's nothing really concrete because we've just kind of been in the dark for so many developers for so long because of COVID. It was just kind of a blackout. We pretty much knew the games that were announced a while back, like a year, 2 years ago, were still in production, but we never got really any new announcements over the past year because of COVID. Nobody wanted to announce they were working on anything or they were still working on the previous games and there was no new updates. So for me, I guess just some more follow up from games we know about. Maybe a concrete date for Deathloop. Um, Concrete date for Ghostwire, although I doubt it because we've not really had a lot of news on Ghostwire. So I think everybody's kind of in the dark on production for that game, but I would imagine they're most of the way done. But I'll dig into that later. But yeah, I mean, like everybody else, I'm probably most excited to see what Nintendo's been up to because I mean, out of all the studios being quiet, they are normally quiet, but they've been even more quiet than usual. So yeah, that's
Right.
pretty much what I'm excited to see. How about you, Nick?
Yeah, definitely anything about Breath of the Wild 2 more than just a AJ Onuma coming on stage. It's like, well,
Hmm.
we're still working on
It's
it.
happening.
Back to you. Like that was, uh, um, and then yeah, I guess the new Smash Bros. Fighters, we may be getting an announcement, maybe multiple announcements. Here and then recently too from Sakurai saying he was in a interview talking about considering retiring maybe at some point. It was weird because like the translation wasn't exactly correct when the article first came out. It was like Sakurai is retiring after all these DLC characters. Well, that's not exactly what he said. He
Hmm.
still wants to be involved, and he still really enjoys the characters and everything. But it's going to be interesting to see who the remaining two fighters will be. If there could be a special bonus third
Right.
fighter, anything's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. It still baffles me. They're still making DLC for Smash. So for me, I'm like, is there characters left to add? I mean, who knows who
I
it
just
could be
not
at
have
this point?
everybody, but
Who
yeah.
knows? But yeah. So Nick, how about you tell us a little bit about some of the video game news you had, and we'll jump after that. We'll jump into some E3 predictions.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to separate it this week, this episode, into stuff that's like confirmed and then stuff that's like our theories and our kind of insider,
Game theory.
uh, what we're thinking about, the game theories
Yeah.
section. So stuff that we know of, the confirmed stuff. Well, so the Epic versus Apple legal debates, it's over, but we won't really know the full verdict for a couple months, and this seems to be something that it's likely going to be held up in court cases and stuff for years. Apple has won, like technically, but that doesn't really mean much. Like there still may be some repercussions in the sense that they may be taking 29% of the cut from games on the game app store instead of the 30% that they have been taking. But it's good that this has come into discussion, especially for smaller developers. That like these bigger companies and stuff were taking a lot of money away from them that they could have been earning. So we'll see, where this goes. Uh, Among Us is free on the Epic Store. I don't know if that's because they think they did good in the court case, but it's going to be free until June 3rd. If you don't have it already, you can actually just download it for free if you
Hmm.
also have the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, the Epic Game Store, I guess most people don't know this, but they put a couple new games up for free every week and a half. So it's just you just log into the store and you select the free games and you check them out in your cart. I've gotten a lot of games from
That's
it. There's
nice.
no subscription required. They just give out free games every couple weeks. So and
I can definitely
the
see
Among Us,
why.
I guess, just possibly landed on. I guess they made a deal with them or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely see why Apple doesn't like them then. That seems like very counterintuitive to Apple's strategy of nickel and diming you for everything almost. But there were some new Sonic announcements. There was a big Sonic Central virtual event, an Origins collection game of a lot of the old Dreamcast games. Will be available as a collection. A new 3D Sonic game also was announced, and then interestingly, uh, for me as kind of like comparison, so Sonic Colors Ultimate is like a HD remaster of the Sonic Colors game. It was announced, and that one will be $40, and it'll have a lot more like characters. Customization was seen in the trailer. Um, Way HD upscaled all the lighting and everything, and it's like comparing that to Nintendo's Skyward Sword HD, if I can for a quick second, because that one, so it's going to be full price, like $60. It's also a remake of a Wii game. It's not really like comparing the
Uh,
videos and stuff, like
is,
as much of a HD improvement, perhaps. But I
yeah.
don't know. The only like quality of life feature, then, as I guess could mention this later, but it's you have to buy an amiibo. Now it's a good looking amiibo, but it's like a $25, I think, which is one of the more expensive. So it's a deluxe amiibo of Zelda and Loftwing, where that's the only way that you have access to the quality of life feature, where you can jump back into the sky and then back down into the world, which will actually save you a lot of time because usually you can only do that at specific bird statues. But it just feels like, Sega Sonic Team is really like, we will give you all of this, almost in comparison to Nintendo's big upcoming remake game. So I don't know. I feel like we could be getting a lot more from Nintendo, especially when seeing what their competition is down the road.
Yeah, and I mean, it might be different if Skyward Sword, in comparison, was a remake. Actually, it's more of a remaster. So, I mean, they're
Mm.
just putting like the whole HD coat of paint over it, and it looks a little bit shinier. And it's not like they're building every model and the textures from the ground up like they did with the 3DS remakes of the Zelda games, or
Right.
but it's an HD version, and usually, I mean, HD versions are very common. I mean, with games that are classics. So I mean, it's $60 is just ridiculous, personally. But
Yeah.
man,
People were
it's a Nintendo Premium.
like, maybe it was a pie in the sky wish, but some people were hoping for Zelda's 35th anniversary and everything that we could get some sort of combo with Twilight Princess and
Yeah,
Wind Waker HD, all that
and
on the
those have already
Switch
been touched
combo.
up. They just need to port them. So
Exactly. That's all it would really be. People would be asking for, but I don't know. That
maybe at
maybe just
E3. You never know. Maybe at
we
E3.
could hear about this coming up. But so that's what some people are wondering. Fun fact. Not that I'm recommending um, making custom amiibos using firmware downloaded from Reddit and custom NFT tags that you
How
can get
dare
for
you?
$2 off of Amazon. Uh, but some people, may have found some ways to do those things without having to fight the scalpers
Yeah,
for, the amiibos
yeah.
to get the functionality in your games.
I mean, I
But
had friends that
maybe
did the NFC tags because they didn't want to take them out of the box. Um,
that's a good point
so
too.
there's those people too, and some people would go a step further and they have some they use out of box and some they keep like a complete two versions of each, an in-box one and an
Oh,
out-box one. That double
that's
everything.
next level.
Yeah,
Wow.
they exist.
So something I found interesting then, Nintendo is going to be partnering with Playverses to make Smash Bros. And Splatoon officially recognized varsity athletics teams and classes in specific schools this coming fall. Um,
Wow.
and with potentially Mario Kart itself also being added later.
Mm,
That it just like it seems on the surface like, oh, okay, that seems like a good thing, but like thinking more into it, Nintendo has really not been good about like organizing tournaments. This isn't that they're
yeah.
going to be hosting a varsity athletics tournament. It's just that they're going to be sponsoring kind of esports kind of classes, I guess, in schools.
Yeah, it'd make more sense if
Um,
it was Sony, since they just bought Evo, or like
yeah.
Microsoft, but Nintendo's never been very like pro esports in any way, at least in my
Right.
knowledge. They've
So
just been very
maybe
hands
it's a
off.
good sign. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It just seemed to really kind of come out of left field with that announcement. But I'll be following up with it to see if it really results in more community focus on future multiplayer games, perhaps from them. We got some updates. So Monster Hunter Rise, Jamar is expert in this really, but there's a 3.0 update for that where it's adding a conclusion actually to the main story, I suppose, and more monsters. That game's been doing really well. It's got over 7 million in sales and digital shipments in just 2 months for the Switch.
They would
A
have
PC
sold more
version
if
will
it
be
was on
coming soon.
PC.
That's what people like. It's
They would
it's
have
a really
sold
good
so
game,
many.
you know.
Uh,
Uh, if it would have come out on other consoles at the same time, yeah, Capcom like they'd just be rolling in it. But
Yeah.
I don't know, these timed
They probably, I mean, they
exclusives.
probably bought, Nintendo probably bought exclusivity rights or something.
That's definitely possible.
So,
It's like I don't think there's really anything on the Switch hardware that necessitates like the wired bug or any of the
yeah.
technology why it couldn't be on other consoles, but whatever. Uh, if you have heard of the Bloodstained Ritual of the Night game
Who
by
hasn't?
Koji Higurashi, so that was the Castlevania guy that he kept going. I want to say to Capcom to be like, "Hey, people want more Castlevania. Can I make a new Castlevania?" And they're like, "No, nobody wants that." And he's like, "Fine, I'll do it myself on Kickstarter." And it turned out pretty good. The Switch version did not turn out very good. Maybe related to some of this other stuff we were just talking about, but like the Switch version had a lot of bugs and glitches and just not the same frame rate as the PC and other versions. But it's still a fun game, and he's announced to be specific, the quote was a second version. Don't know if that exactly means a Bloodstained 2 or just a Bloodstained HD, uh, but it seemed interesting. At least they announced it at the 505 Games fiscal Q3 results
Mm,
presentation. So
cool.
see where that goes. And then Corey, you want to
Uh,
talk about the Genshin
wait, do you
updates?
have to?
Uh,
Oh.
the officially revealed stuff. I mean, it's
Uh, I
eh,
mean,
if you
yeah,
want.
I mean, we've known it's coming for a while, but summer skins, well, skins for characters are coming, new outfits for Jean and Barbara. They're coming in an update called Midsummer Island Adventure. And
Mm,
Jeans is paid. You have to pay 1,350 Genesis crystals. Initially, it's on sale. That's the on sale price, and 1,680 if you buy it afterwards. And if you convert that to how much it is in Genesis to buy Genesis crystals in game, that's around $20 roughly. Um, you can't earn Genesis crystals any other way. You have to get them with that's paid currency. Barbara's is free for a limited time of this event, but Jeans will always be paid, which sucks. I'm not sure why they did that. Well, I know why they did that, but
I have a suspicion.
um, but
Because
that
if you
really
don't have
sucks
Gene,
because
yeah,
yeah,
you can't even buy the skin, to my understanding.
yeah, probably not. Um, that just really sucks considering how much money they already make on this game, and
Yeah.
from people who are trying to get characters, and they have to make skins paid. And a lot of people are arguing, as like, oh, it's a gacha, it's expected, but at the same time, it's like I don't know many gachas that, at least I don't play a lot of other gachas, but the ones I have played don't really charge you for seasonal skins. It's just they would. I mean, you would spend money to get the character with the seasonal skin, but that would be like a separate, you know, that's like different, I guess, in a way.
Y- Other games
There'd
like
be a way to earn it
you could
free,
use
is
the
what I'm
same.
saying. Yeah,
Yeah, you could use the currency that you
that you can get
slowly
in game.
get in the game
Mm-hmm.
to at least have a chance to roll
It
on
wouldn't be locked
cards.
up. So yeah, but that's Genshin. So there's gonna be some new islands, so new areas to explore. And Kazuya was announced. He's a 5-star Animo sword user from Baida's crew. He's from Inazuma. Um, there's like a new boss from the looks of it, like some mechanism you fight. Um, and so that'll probably be another weekly boss to add. And I think that's about it. I don't know if the characters thing, was that announced or is that a leak?
Uh,
I don't know if we can talk about that.
yeah, I'm not. Actually, I'm not certain.
Okay,
I
so we said nothing there. There's nothing else.
right. We don't want to get
Um,
in trouble. We actually
oh,
haven't got contacted by
there
anybody
is
or
a
anything
there is
about it.
a Venti Nendroid coming out, and Kiking's getting a custom mechanical keyboard, which I didn't know about. That's cool.
I just heard. Yeah, those are official. um,
Is it
we'll
like
get the
custom
merch.
keys, like mechanical keys, or is it an actual
Yeah,
keyboard? Because I don't
I
want to buy the keyboard. Because I have a
I believe it was a keyboard, but that the keys are removable and like swappable.
oh, okay. So buy the keyboard and take the keys out and then toss it,
I'm
basically.
wondering if you can, yeah, or people will just be selling the keys on
Yeah,
eBay
because
or something like that.
that's the only thing. The only problem I have with this kind of like promotional merch is like nobody wants to use those cheap little keyboards out of China and Japan. You know, they want to keep using their Razer keyboard, but they want the custom
Oh yeah,
keys. You know what I mean?
that makes sense.
Or Razer or Corsair or Asus, whatever keyboard brand you get. Don't get Razer; they suck. But
That way,
so um, that's pretty much it for video game news right now.
yeah. So that's
So
our confirmed stuff, and then so
yeah.
here's this is like kind of what we have some insight into to what the developers are have been working on and what announcements are likely to be coming in the next couple weeks, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still take it with a grain of salt,
Yeah.
which is the
So
salt. But
to kind
yeah,
of give y'all some insight, I thought that would be really so most people don't know this, but Nintendo has roughly, I mean, well, I say roughly, but they have essentially 11 studios in Nintendo that develop games, and how that works is it's not a formal studio, like it's not they're not formal studios that are always engaged with a task. They're more like buckets, which they kind of put if you're used to like maybe like a Kanban board or something, or is that how you pronounce it?
I think so.
Kanban.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like that, and they have 11 of those, and it's like saying, okay, so the only the identifier is like they have group 1, group 2, group 3 through 11, and each group is if you find if you're employee in that group, you're responsible with um, whatever that group's task would normally be, and whether or not those groups are actually engaged in something is always questionable. And when they're not engaged with something, then they're assisting other groups within Nintendo. So, for example, group number 1 is external research and development group, and they assist with games like recently they've assisted with Torna from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the ZLC. They've assisted with Three Houses with Koei Tecmo and Intelligent Systems, and Astral Chain by Platinum. Group number 2 is another external development group. They assisted with like the kind of spin-off games. They do Mario Tennis Aces. They assist with Mario Tennis Aces by Camelot, Super Mario Party games, Smash Ultimate. They assist with that. Um, and then there's group 3. They're an internal research and development group, which means they work on their own games when they're actually in production. And they work on they're most known for the Legend of Zelda series. If you're in that group, then you'll be working on the next Legend of Zelda game. Um, I believe the directors are static to that group, so they are always still working on a probably if it's an internal R&D group, they're probably still working or planning the next game.
That's
Um,
probably where AG Alnuma is. And
yeah,
group
yeah,
3 for Triforce, maybe. I don't know.
yeah. I believe he's in charge of Group 3, but we know currently. I mean, they're working on Breath of the Wild too, so I don't have much to say about that group other than they're working on Breath of the Wild too, and they also assist with the Legend of Zelda spin-offs. I think they assisted with the Crypt of the Necrodancer spin-off, the Hyrule. What was it called again? Okay, Cadence of Hyrule.
Cadence.
I think they assisted the developers with that. I know they assisted Grezzo with Link's Awakening. So they do that. Group number 4 is known for like kind of they're an internal R&D group, but they're known for like kind of um
We say like Nintendo
the
themed.
athleticism ones. Yeah, yeah, they're kind of like the Nintendo offshoot brands, sort of like the Brain Ages and Miitopias and the your Nintendo Labos. They work on those. They work on developing those. They also came out with Ring Fit, so maybe we'll be seeing a Ring Fit sequel in the future. I wouldn't be surprised, given how popular it was during COVID. It sold out like everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I actually still haven't finished the story.
Me
If you
either.
call it story
Yeah,
for
me
the
either.
original one.
I need to do that. Um, So group number 5 is known for your Animal Crossing and Splatoon series. I forget the lady who's in charge of that. But yeah, so they're probably working on Animal Crossing updates still, and we know they're working on the new Splatoon because we saw that announcement in the last direct. And did you have a rumor you wanted to talk about?
There wasn't really a better place to put this one. There's a Animal Crossing update Animal Crossing rumor by this guy Samus Hunter, which is apparently a famous guy in the Animal Crossing rumor
leaker forms
community, I guess. That Cap'n will be the next big update. So still not
oh
Brewster,
my god,
unfortunately.
I don't know what that means, but that sounds big.
It would make
is that the
sense
duck,
because it's
or is that the
he's
Kappa character?
yeah, the Kappa guy. He
Okay.
does a boat. We don't know what the boat would do, but just that there's also been some changes to the properties of the front beach of your island that also suggest it all adds up apparently for this guy Samus Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be interesting because one of the critiques of the game still, I've been playing it for months now almost,
Mm-hmm.
is that there's just not that much to do. There's online, you can have other people over to your island and all that, but
Sounds
there's
like
not really
Genshin.
any multiplayer. Yeah, pretty much like Genshin.
Oh,
You
what's
build your
that?
house and then for what,
The
you know?
copying Genshin?
Yeah. But basically, in previous Animal Crossing games, I've been told there were a lot of mini games you could play on this island that Cap'n could take you
Mm.
to. So that's more of a hope, I guess. That and you could win prizes, win furniture, and all that
Oh,
if you
cool.
won
Sounds like
the initial
Genshin.
mini games. Actually, this is making a lot more
That's
connections.
so
I'm
weird.
wondering, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
makes you think.
so that could be coming out soon.
Um, cool. So, there's also group number 6. They're an external R&D group. So they assist with the Metroid Primes, the Donkey Kong Countries, the Paper Marios. They also assisted recently with Luigi's Mansion 3. We don't. I'll get into next level games who developed Luigi's Mansion 3 later, but they might be working on a new Luigi's Mansion. We'll see. Group number 7, they work on the Tomodachi Life series, which is probably defunct. I don't think they'll make another one, but
I think that turned into Metopia.
I think that was the prototype for Metopia. Tomodachi Life was cool. It's like if you did like an Animal Crossing with Mii's, is kind of how it felt, sort of. And you could have like character Mii's, and you could like put people's Mii's in your town. It was kind of neat. Um, they are probably assisting. Oh, they're also known for Rhythm Heaven, which also is probably never coming back. Sorry. um, they might be working with Mercury Steam with for that new rumored. Well, I should say rumored 2D Metroid. We'll see. There's group number 8, which is internal research and development group. They are probably working on the next 3D Mario. Or the next Captain Toad. I don't know. Be another Captain Toad. Captain Toadette? Captain Toadette? Is that
Super
the sequel?
Captain Toad Odyssey. I don't know.
Yeah, but there's got to be a new 3D Mario in the making. It's been so long since Odyssey came out at this point. I think 4 years. So, I mean, they've got to be working on one. Oh, hi, Mira. Mira wanted to say
I feel
hi.
like the Bowser's Fury mode that was added to Super Mario World 3D World
She just
re-release
hopped
for
in my
Switch.
head.
Oh,
She's like, oh, hi, I
um,
just want to join the podcast.
but yeah, I feel like that Bowser's Fury was definitely like a taste of what could be to come, and it was very well received because it was basically another open world Mario, but like
Really? I
every
thought it was a mini game. Is it not a mini game?
no, it was you go around collecting these cat shrines, but then
Mm-hmm.
at certain intervals, uh, Fury Bowser would attack you.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but if you got enough, you could get a. You could also grow big into Super Saiyan
Super
cat
Saiyan.
form and defeat him. But it was very
Super Saiyan
similar,
Meiro.
reminiscent to like yeah, but to Mario's Sunshine, at least in the tropical theming of a lot of the levels, but everything was
Mm-hmm.
interconnected in just one world. So it wasn't like all that big, but
Yeah.
it definitely seemed like a lot of. Also, all the enemies were cat
So, okay, so
for some reason.
I'll have you down. I'll have you also down here on my checklist of they're working on another 3D Mario. Okay.
I would believe.
Or they could be
Watch
working on more 3D Mario remakes. What we have left? Galaxy 2? They
Oh
outsource
god,
it. They'll outsource that probably if they need to. Because I mean, like, what the hell?
I
They'll
don't
just
know
HD
if
remake it.
that one may not be coming because so that wasn't in the collection.
It wasn't in the
And from
collection. It was weird.
what I've heard, like some more talks from developers were saying that they just did not like working on that. I guess because of
I
like
don't
the
like.
crunch.
We don't want to HD
And
remaster Galaxy 2 because we didn't like it.
that seems like a silly thing, but like I've heard
Isn't that
crazier
like don't?
reasons.
Isn't it like isn't Galaxy 2 the
Because
more liked of the
a lot of
series?
people, yeah, they really enjoyed it. They had Yoshi. Yoshi got power ups. I mean, I enjoyed it, but
Yeah, I haven't played. I beat Galaxy 1. I didn't beat 2,
okay.
so I
'Cause
don't
it was
know.
basically it started out as like all the leftover ideas that they had that they couldn't fit into Galaxy One. They kind of was like,
Hmm.
There's enough here to make a game out of it." But the crunch time and everything, from
Yeah,
what I heard, it wasn't good on the developers. But I mean, yeah, come on, it's been
you
10
work at
years. Maybe
Nintendo.
not that
Come on,
10
grow
years.
thicker skin.
But yeah,
Like,
it seems
geez,
a bit harsh, but I don't think that should be a reason that you don't release
should be
a
proud to
game.
work extra hours at Nintendo. Come
Oh no.
on,
Never
get over
mind. I
yourself.
should take it back. That seems bad.
um, so there's also group number 9, known for your Mario Kart games and the ARMS series. ARMS, anybody?
Okay.
ARMS Esports. So we don't know what they're working on right now. I mean, they're doing updates for Mario Kart Tour, but you know that's probably like 3 people. I don't know,
The
but
mobile. Gotcha. Okay.
that's a mobile Mario Kart game. We are due for a new Mario Kart because I mean Mario Kart 8 came out what, like 2014,
Oh,
uh, technically,
yeah.
because
It
I mean
seems
it
like
was
a
on
while ago.
Switch.
Yeah.
So
Or
and
well.
they just reused it was on Wii U is what I meant to say. It was on Wii U, and then
Yeah.
they ported it to Switch, but it was on Wii U a long time. 2014, yeah. Damn, I'm good at this. So it came out like
The
middle
tricky
of
thing is,
2014.
yeah, that's been one of the highest selling Switch games
Hmm.
to date.
And
And so people have been like, oh, maybe they'll just add more content onto
yeah, I don't
that
know.
instead of selling Mario Kart
But
9.
they've already
But
added so much DLC characters. It's like they need.
there has been a lot in tracks and
My
everything.
only
But
question is, how do you top Mario Kart 8? I mean, it's easily one of the best Mario Kart games. I mean, that might be a controversial opinion, but it's if it's
um,
not your favorite Mario Kart, it's probably like top 3. I mean, I
they
liked
bring
it a
back the
lot
double
more.
dash mechanic. You put two guys on one cart again. That would be
Yeah,
great.
I liked
I
Double
don't know.
Dash. That was a controversial game, but I liked Double Dash a
Yeah,
lot.
I like that one.
But there
So
wasn't a Mario Kart game I liked as much as 8 after Double Dash, at least. Um,
yeah,
I didn't like
Double Dash
Wii.
gave us Baby Park too, the best stage,
I felt
best
like
part.
Mario Kart Wii was a compromise.
Yeah,
A lot of people were like, "Oh, I had so much fun with that," but I'm like, that's just because you had to play it.
that's all that you had.
Yeah,
Yeah, with the wheel.
I hated the wheel, man. Oh my god.
What some
Um,
people are saying potentially, and what I would want would be just general Nintendo Super Mario Smash Kart.
oh, okay.
Um,
Like,
they've already, like, with the DLC sort of gone in that direction. They brought Link in. They brought Animal Crossing Villager, and I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of other characters, and uh, Captain Falcon. We have a good idea that they're not bringing him back in for another F Zero game, unfortunately. But why
oh,
not
come
just
on,
bring
don't
him
do that
in?
to the F-Zero fans.
It's not looking good. Those guys have
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
not
that
having a
would
good
be
time.
neat. That would be neat.
But why not? Yeah, I feel like Sega's already done that with some of their crossover kart games. They put Sonic in a
I mean, there's
kart.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympics series. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Is Sonic in Mario Kart 8? He's not, is he?
No, he was never added. It was just Nintendo characters. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else random like that, but I think Link and Isabelle were kind of the most interesting ones. I feel like there were some other random ones. Splatoon, yeah, the Splatoon kids were added into
yeah, the Inklings.
8 Deluxe. Yeah,
Not Inklings, Squidlings. Was the abbreviation for them?
yeah, Inklings. And it was funny because originally, one of their tricks, super random trivia, but they were doing like a thing like this in when they would do a jump trick in the air, which is like super offensive in the UK. It's basically saying like fuck you, like the middle finger. So they actually had to edit that out and take it out of their uh the Squid Kid
You're a
model.
squid
But
now.
anyway,
You're a squid now.
where are we at? Group 10?
So yeah, they're probably working on something. Group 10. We haven't seen a game out of them in a while. I mean, if you count Super Mario Run, then yeah, I guess. There was the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe and Super Mario Maker 2, but those came out a long time ago at this point. So and those weren't like, you know, I imagine Super Mario Maker 2 took some development time, but that was a while back. They're known for working on the Pikmin game series, the Mario Bros 2D series, and the Mario Maker games. And you know, since we can rule out another Mario Maker probably for this console generation, I would imagine. Pikmin 4 has been in development for a long time. I mean, Pikmin 3 came out, I think, also in 2014.
Yeah.
2013 actually. That was like one of the Wii U launch titles, really.
Oh yeah.
It was near the Wii U launch.
There's that mobile Pikmin game coming out, Pikmin Go or whatever they're gonna call it. But that's not, I don't think, what fans are really wanting. Maybe it'll be fun. But
I mean, I don't
maybe
think
that's these
so.
guys.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be pessimistic about it, but I mean, I think most Pikmin fans aren't waiting for that one.
Yeah, that's not really.
I mean, it's just as likely we'll get a new 2D Mario game because there's not been a 2D Mario for a long time either. New Super Mario Bros. U was a while back, but I mean, we know they're working on Pikmin 4, so I mean, hopefully it's soon because I love the Pikmin series, and I hope they port the other Pikmin games too.
That'd be cool.
One, I like 1 and 2 a lot more than 3. 3 was okay. It's kind of Group 11 is another external group. They work with Fire Emblem Heroes and Dragalia Lost, so they work on a bunch of mobile titles, and they've been working on Mario Kart Tour. So yeah, that's pretty much the 11 buckets of Nintendo and like how they break down their studios, their developer studios. But I'm gonna get into what we know is in development now, and what's in development now at Nintendo, at least, that we're predicting. So just like we discussed, EPD 8 or Studio 8 is probably working on a new 3D Mario. It's been almost 4 years since Odyssey dropped, and we can probably expect a reveal soon, but I bet they still need more time because those 3D Marios seem to take them a long time. What's the gap between Galaxy and Odyssey? I mean, it was big. Well, no, you can't say Galaxy, because they also worked on 3D World. So 3D World is what they worked on before. Odyssey. So 3D World came out in 2013, and Odyssey came out in like what, 2016 or 2017? I mean.
Yeah, around then. I feel like we could be due. Yeah, especially.
Yeah, late 2017. So about 4 to 5 years gap. No, I don't think they'll wait one more console generation, would they?
Or just saying, so there's a potential Switch Pro as well in the works. And
that's true. That'd be a good time to push the hardware.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then also there's this guy Zippo Speaks blog. So he's a pretty famous, I guess, up until this past year, 2020. He's got a lot of things right, we'll say. Uh, he unfortunately did not. A lot of his inside leaks did not come true this past year, so his kind of insider information is kind of more come into question. But that's also more likely just due to COVID delays in general. So if the worldwide pandemic had not happened, he may have actually had even more accurate information.
Yeah.
But so he's also had a lot of insight or more rumors into also what some of these studios could be working on. Or what we did was we kind of mashed up. So what the rumor was. So for this one, he's got a new 2D Donkey Kong game is in the works by that would be being worked on by the Mario Odyssey team.
That would be
And so we're
weird.
trying to match these up, yeah, with who the studio was. But yeah, that seems like a
Be
kind of
weird.
odd like combination. Why would the Odyssey team not be working on another
Yeah,
3D
and I would
game?
imagine if a studio, well, because Retro Studios, if you don't know, Retro Studios usually does Donkey Kong Country. And if
Right,
they were
which
going to
has
hand that
been
over to
good.
anybody, I would imagine they would hand it over to the 2D Mario studio. Um, maybe they have their hands full with Pikmin or a new 2D Mario, so they had to hand it over to the 3D Mario studio. I don't know. It's hard to say if that rumor is true or not, but um, heck, I
I
imagine
might be in
Nintendo
the
would just have
yeah.
Retro come out with a new Donkey Kong Country rather than work on Metroid Prime 4 at this point.
Oh my
So,
god, that would be. Oh, I may be in the minority. I really enjoyed Donkey Kong 64. Sure, there were like a million bananas that you had to collect
yeah,
on
but
5 characters, but it was a fun. It had
that's
some unique
that's probably never
levels
going to
and
happen
everything.
again though. Well,
So,
I say
is
probably. It's
will
definitely
we
never
ever
going to
get?
happen.
Yeah, will we ever
But
get a new 3D Donkey Kong
because Rare
with
did that game,
multiple Kongs?
and Rare's
This is
at
true.
Microsoft now,
There,
and or at Xbox,
yeah,
and that's why
yeah.
we never got a port of Donkey Kong 64 is because it was in licensing hell.
That's right.
Because Xbox couldn't do it because that's a Nintendo property, and I think Nintendo couldn't do it because I
It's
guess because
rare.
Rare wasn't with them anymore, so they couldn't. I don't know,
One
but
of the collectible items is like a coin that has like the rare logo on it, and they're like, "Oh
mm,
damn, well, there's just no way we can't
yeah.
do it anymore." But
Um,
uh,
but yeah,
so
and Group 9, we were talking about there might be a new a Mario Kart
oh
game in
yeah,
development,
yeah, that's pretty much just been what
which
we were
we
talking
pretty
about
much
already.
covered.
Yeah,
Group
Nintendo Kart would be cool.
Group
We'll see.
10, that's the 2D Mario and Pikmin group. We think there's gonna be a Pikmin 4. Someday we might live to see when it comes out. I just hope. I mean, I know we talked about Pikmin 4 a bit, but I hope it's better than 3 because I really was disappointed with 3.
Mm.
In comparison to Pikmin 2, if you played Pikmin 2, Pikmin 2 was huge. It took forever. Like
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't even know if I beat Pikmin 2. Well, I think I beat it, but I didn't get everything. Pikmin 3, I destroyed that game in like 8 hours. Like I got everything in like 8 or 9 hours. I was so
Mm.
disappointed. In like comparison to 2, and 2, hi Mira, you're gonna come on screen. Um, Pikmin 2 was so hard. Like you would get wiped and you would lose all your Pikmin so many times in like some dark cavern. But Pikmin 3 just I don't know. I didn't really get as much of the I didn't get as much enjoyment out of that one. It was fun. It wasn't it wasn't the Pikmin I knew, Just lost
I want to
its
say like that they haven't because the story is like they kind of flew to like Earth in the future, but like they didn't really advance. The story hasn't advanced much since
yeah, and
then.
they I mean they found Louis in Pikmin 3, right?
Yeah, because yeah, they left him behind at the end of two,
I don't remember.
or I don't know. I feel like the final boss of two, there was Louis that they went back, but
What was it Louis they
maybe
saved in Pikmin 3 or was it Olmar? I don't remember.
I
I
think
thought it was
Pikmin three
Louis.
was they were saving Olimar because it
Yeah,
was
okay,
it was
yeah.
the three other random. One of them was the boss, and then two other scientists.
Hmm.
You could swap between all three of them, which is
Yeah.
neat. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know
Yeah, it was
where that's going to be going.
Um, and then there's, Group 3, which we talked about, was Zelda Studio. They're working on Breath of the Wild 2 with Monolith Software. Um, and I'm still sticking with my guns. I think it'll launch this year. Um, we know we've heard rumors that there's a Switch Pro, which we'll get into a little bit later what those rumors are, and we those rumors have all stated that it's going to launch in winter of this year, which I imagine it was already ready at some point last year or early this year, but they were still scared because of COVID. So they were trying for this winter launch frame, which would be a great time, which is always a great time to launch consoles, obviously. And I think they're gonna launch Breath of the Wild 2 with it because no game's ever pushed the Switch hardware as hard as the Breath of the Wild and the Xenoblade games. So that'd be a great way to showcase the hardware. I think it's gonna be winter. But what do you think? I think it's gonna be winter. Is it gonna be 2022?
I would like to see it, but I also got what would you say, blue balled so many times by the original Breath of the Wild release date.
Yeah,
Coming
true.
out like
I mean, everybody
so
was.
many years afterwards.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They shouldn't have as much to have to develop from scratch because they have the engine, they have the same world even
Yeah, and
potentially.
they're using a lot of the same models.
There's even all the stuff from Age of Calamity that they can just like, hey, can we borrow your Zelda model? Can we borrow? There's even like new monsters and enemies and stuff that were added in Age of Calamity that this the EDP3 team can just like, hey, let's borrow those guys, throw them in here around here. So it shouldn't be as long a development time. I don't think it's going to be like how Majora's Mask was like just done in 1 year with all the Ocarina of Time assets, but we'll see. I hope it comes out.
Yeah, definitely. While we're on Monolith Soft, I wanted to dig into what they're working on a little bit. We know they're working on a project. They've had a lot of interviews where they've said as much, like we're working on our next big project. But is it a new Xenoblade? I really don't know at this point. There's only been one Xenoblade that's not been ported. That's Xenoblade X. X, yeah. Right? So that hasn't been ported. But I imagine they will get they'll get another studio to port that probably. I don't think they'll do the same thing they did with the definitive edition and do it in house. So if that does get ported, I don't think Monolith Soft's it's gonna be pretty hands off for them. We did have that DLC to Xenoblade Chronicles 1 definitive edition that, gave us some idea of the next game. It was a bit of an epilogue. So who knows? I mean, that's probably hinting at that they're going to have another Xenoblade Chronicles ready. Or could it be that they're working on a new IP? Or they could be working on a Zelda because they've been working with the Zelda team to so long. They may be doing their own Zelda game. I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
But I wonder if they do make a new Xenoblade, do you think they'll shift in art styles like they did with 2? You think they'll just keep doing these art style shifts? That'd be cool. Because 2 was a huge departure from 1 and X.
There's been a lot, and so also random tidbit is the end of X was super cliffhangery. Like, that's not really a word, but it was a really big, crazy, like, how did we get on this planet? Like, all the stuff that you thought you knew playing through the whole game was pretty much just thrown out the window.
Yeah,
at the end scene after the credits, but then there's been no word on a X2.
And they kind of answer that question in 2, but X isn't really related to the planets in 1 and 2. Yeah. X is kind of its own thing.
It's in its own.
So maybe if they made a sequel, if they made another Xenoblade game, maybe it'll be a sequel to X, the X universe, the X timeline. Well, they're in the same universe, but they're like different colonies that landed on different planets, I think is how it works, right?
There's one YouTuber.
Because 1 and 2 are like the same colony, but I think X is a different colony altogether.
I feel like they need to honestly do some more timeline story, even retcon cleanup, because what happens in X is you see Earth get destroyed, but that doesn't really in the same timeline. It couldn't also happen with what happens in the Earth. Don't really want to spoil it, but in Xenoblade 1.
Mm-hmm.
there's just no way that the events would line up in the same way in how the story had
No,
been
it could be
presented.
X is
So they
just straight.
seem to be its own, totally own universe,
It could be
unless
that, or it could be X is like a straight prequel to all of
that's
those.
also
I don't know,
possible.
but
That's, I guess, overall my hope, whether it's a Xenoblade 3 or Xenoblade X2.
I wouldn't
I just hope
mind.
that they tie it together
Mm,
somehow.
I wouldn't
Because
mind
there's a lot
taking
of
another
loose
whack at the X universe,
story threads all over the place. But yeah, that would be cool too.
but I want an export so I don't have to fire up my Wii U for any reason.
Yeah.
Um, Also, we have Mercury Steam, which we talked about. All the rumors point to them having the next 2D Metroid finished, and I am positive it is a Super Metroid remake. I think it's a Super
Okay.
Metroid remake because I don't think
That'd be cool.
because they have Metroid Zero Mission for the first game, and knowing Nintendo, they probably think that's sufficient. So they'll probably
Yeah.
do a Super
It's
Metroid
already
remake.
made once, basically.
And they may
Yeah.
port, may double down on it and say there's a Zero Mission port ready for Switch, so you could just play it on the Switch Digital Shop or with your Nintendo subscription. Nah, they wouldn't give it to you for free. Nah, they wouldn't give it to you with the Nintendo membership. You'd have to buy it.
We
But they
still haven't
did.
seen anything, yeah, with Nintendo Online
Zero Mission
for
was
Game Boy
on the Wii
Advance.
U store, I think.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure it
Okay.
was. I remember playing
I
it.
guess I was saying more just like the Nintendo Online, like the free SNES games and
The
that they
Wii
give us
U
each
had
month.
a lot of
On the eShop itself,
Game
yeah.
Boy, and yeah, it had a lot of eShop ports. It was pretty good for that. Rest in peace. Um, so we also have Next Level Games, which we talked about are the developers of Luigi's Mansion 3. We don't know what they're working on. Luigi's Mansion 3 wasn't that long ago. It came out in 2019, near the end of 2019, and it was a huge hit. I mean, especially compared to the reception of Dark Moon, which was good, but it wasn't like Luigi's Mansion 3 levels. Um, so who knows what they're working on? I would imagine it's another Luigi's Mansion sequel, but they could be doing something new. I don't know.
There's only so much that you can get out of the story of that. I mean,
Yeah, so I doubt we'll see any Luigi's Mansion DLC. That's why I think they're probably
yeah.
on to the next game. Who knows? And then we have HAL Labs, which we really haven't seen much out of them in terms of a mainline Kirby in a while. What was the last one? Planet Robobot?
Uh, well, so it was Star Allies
Does that count as
was
a
for the
mainline
Switch.
Kirby?
I'm pretty sure it had a lot of like. It wasn't that good. I don't have it though. I just know what I've seen from it.
Yeah, I heard it was okay.
Like they added a lot of fan favorite characters from previous games in as DLC, even
Mm,
Susie from Planet Robobot somehow,
mm,
and just other random characters that kind of expanded the lore, which was neat.
yeah,
But yeah, it still wasn't like regarded as the best Kirby game ever. But I've heard recently from some interviews with them that the next Kirby game they're going to be taking all the that stuff
yeah,
from Star Allies and making it
yeah.
even better.
I heard I like from the interviews. It's like they were saying they were taking Kirby in a new direction. So I don't know. Maybe they're rebooting the show. Maybe they're rebooting the TV series.
Right back at you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't think that they've ever
we'll
done a real
see.
like 3D Kirby game. Now I enjoyed that Kirby the racing game. Oh, what was it? Uh, with the Warp Star. That was also
Oh,
developed by like Sakurai. Uh,
you mean the racing
that
game?
one was good. Yeah, it was like
Uh,
very simple, but I can't remember the
that
name
was
of
on
it.
GameCube.
Yeah, yeah, the GameCube one.
Air
Um,
Ride. That's what it was.
yes, Kirby Air Ride. So I don't know. That'd be cool to get a sequel to that, or and again put Kirby in Mario Kart.
As
There you
much
go.
it would be cool to get a sequel for that, but I don't think it'd sell. I
It
don't think
probably
it'd
won't.
move units. Also, other than HAL, we have HAL could also be working on a. I think they were working on a another sequel. Ready? Is it time? Is this the year?
Ports.
Another sequel, all in one bundle. Let's do it.
Terry Crews did tweet out Mother 3.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Last month, so it's definitely coming.
They probably reached out to him. He was like, they were like, hey, just give him a little teaser. You're the only one. And we also have Grezzo. They were working on the Metopia port to Switch, but I imagine they had their main team working on a new project because they were the main team developing Link's Awakening. So they may be working on another 2D Link remaster, maybe, or remake, I should say. They may be remaking another Zelda game that was a classic. Maybe Link to the Past. I don't know.
Crazy wish, I guess, would be so they were
the seasons games. Yeah, the seasons games. But that was Capcom.
Oracle of Ages. Oh, that's right. But yeah, so that was Capcom. But there was a third game that was supposed to be something regarding with the third goddess that was the green one. Oh gosh, Feor, I want to say. But that never actually got made because they were saying that the interconnectivity between the first two already was getting a little complicated, and the password system to get item from one to the other. They figured if there was a third one that was also released, kids would just get way too confused. But maybe now is the time.
so maybe they'll remake the seasons games. Maybe they'll remake Link to the Past. We don't know. Maybe they'll actually be porting Wind Waker and Twilight Princess to the Switch because they're already in fucking HD. Just do it.
Grezzo, your only hope.
Grezzo is a very talented. We've seen them as a very talented porting studio for Nintendo and a talented developer in general. So we'll see what happens with them. Intelligent Systems. They were assisting development in Fire Emblem Three Houses with Koei Tecmo. They came out with Paper Mario Origami King last year. We've heard that they're in development on a new Fire Emblem game that may be one of the older remakes, maybe a remake of an older game, kind of like how they did Echoes, maybe.
Signs are pointing to Genealogy of the Holy War remake, which is FE4. Just some random things like added in the mobile game where they're kind of renaming some of the continents. So that game was never actually released in the West without you have to use fan translation patches and stuff. It would be an interesting game because it's kind of one of the more slower ones of the original older Fire Emblem games. The maps take you like hours and hours to beat just a single one. The mechanics are like you save after every turn. But it has a good story. It also has like two generations, kind of like Awakening and.
I think they should just leave Fire Emblem to Koei Tecmo. Just give them the IP. Intelligent can't handle it. Let's be honest. I mean, come on. I mean, Fates was bad. Fates was bad. But, and then Echoes was kind of subpar. I didn't like Echoes that much.
Echoes, but like they didn't push it as far as they could. So
I think what ruined it for me was all the DLC.
A lot of the old maps.
The DLC kind of killed it for me because it just made it so easy. And it just, I don't know, the gameplay I felt like didn't translate well modernly. Because you could get a mage and you could equip this ring that shoots like 6 tiles and you could snipe people off walls with like who was the little girl in that one that was like OP mage? Delphia, yeah. I kept wanting to say Dorothea and I was like, that's not right.
That's from Three Houses.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, she was ridiculous. But
that's the tricky thing. Like Echoes didn't really update any of the maps from Gaiden, which is Fire Emblem 2. So they're basically just like, here's a square, your enemies are on that side, you're on this side, go.
Do the thing.
Compared to more interesting maps like we've seen in
Fates.
Fates had
it had pretty good maps, just I didn't like playing it.
There were some good ones, but there were others that were just like, oh, okay, here's random wind like blows you around.
Here's reinforcements in all 4 corners that just came out of all of a sudden.
So maybe
they'll take play on classic.
Both worlds.
All of the 3 houses.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a rumor that Koei Tecmo is working on a follow-up to 3 Houses, so that would be cool. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it. And Game Freak, we've kind of, I mean, the cat's out of the bag with most of what they're working on. We got Pokemon Legends Arceus. Looked rough, to say the least. The textures look choppy. The models looked a little like pixelated. Like you could see some like pixel artifacts on the Pokemon a little bit.
Oh, dang.
And like there was some screen tear when they're like running through the terrain. So I want to imagine that's like the very alpha version. They just wanted to showcase that there's stuff happening. And my
I feel like that's
honestly, they really
based on the concept itself.
yeah, I guess, but they should have really just done a trailer, like a cinematic trailer, not like actually give us gameplay, because that looks rough.
And actually, we've gotten the release dates for that, so that the Diamond and Pearl remakes will be like this coming November, and then Arceus is gonna be in like January, unless it gets pushed
Q1
back
2022
of 2022. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Which a lot of people are saying like that seems a
yeah,
bit
that's
too
gonna be pushed back.
soon.
Yeah,
Like, give it some more time. Like, this is a game a lot of Nintendo or just Pokemon fans have been wanting. That's like open world and
so
and
like
all
we're
this
only
stuff.
porting 50 Pokemon, so we could get the game out quicker.
Like, don't. There's no need to rush it. You can.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know,
man, they're gonna be like they're gonna come out with like a Pokemon Battle Pass thing where you can unlock 50 more Pokemon if you buy the DLC, and they show up in the wild areas.
That's too painful.
I don't like how the chibi trainer art style they went with for the Shining Pearl and Diamond remakes. I'm not I don't like it. I was hoping they would go with something similar to Sword and Shield. And I actually like the Elite Four in this game a lot, so it's gonna kind of suck to see them look all cheapy in that style. I didn't see if like do they have 3D models when you get in a battle with them, or are you just seeing a 3D model of that disgusting chibi?
Oh no. It goes back to the Sword and Shield engine. So for like the characters
for the battles, right?
When you're in battle,
then why not do it for the open world? That makes no sense.
There's a lot of questionable decisions that Game Freak has made. This just seems to be, and the biggest thing is like it seems to just be, as we're talking about, like just a remaster. It's not really like a remake, in that there doesn't really seem to be anything new. Like with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they like added new Mega Evolutions. They added more in-depth story and all this stuff. But this one, it just seems to be like, yeah, you guys have been wanting Diamond and Pearl remakes for forever.
Yeah.
Fine, here's your. We made them over a weekend. Like, I don't know. I don't really mean to criticize. Like, I'm sure the programmers are working really hard on it, but just the decisions by the higher ups for these games are.
Yeah.
There's been some rumors.
Yeah, there
also
has.
Pokemon by this. Well, one of them comes from Reddit, where they found a domain, a new website registered for Pokemon Stadiums. So, who knows what that means? It could also just mean nothing. But then also, they're saying this Kelios guy, he predicted correctly the Nintendo Direct that we had back in like February, down to like Diamond and Pearl remakes with the chibi style were happening, that everyone was like, no, there's no way, but that was true. He's then now predicting that we may actually even get a short Nintendo Direct before E3. I don't know what else they could even talk about. Maybe just more footage from Arceus. Maybe
I don't know. Yeah, maybe they can do some development follow-ups. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what's out there. So we'll see if that happens.
We also have Retro Studios, another Nintendo subsidiary. Hopefully working on Metroid Prime 4 still. Well, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it comes out. Platinum Games, hopefully working on Bayonetta 3.
Listen, it took him a couple of years to make that logo. They're like the SpongeBob. He's writing the art, the essay that he came up with. The B, you know, it takes time. But yeah, it'd be good to hear any of this stuff.
And Indie Cube, which is another studio that works with Nintendo, they did the last couple Mario Party games. So maybe there's another Mario Party in the works. I don't think the most recent one got a very good reception. I saw it and I was like, this is the one where they were all in the cart, right? And they moved together as a party through the.
Oh, there's been so many Mario.
I'm trying to remember. I think they move in a cart together.
I want to say that was Mario Party 9, and then Super Mario Party was they weren't all together, but every character had a customized dice,
Mm,
which is, I guess,
mm,
neat. It gave you reason to choose different characters for strategy, if you could call it that. But yeah, that it didn't get the highest reviews. It's it is interesting because it didn't really have like much online functionality. You could only play the mini games online, but you couldn't actually play a whole board with other players, I believe. But randomly, recently, as of last month, there was an update for that. This game came out years ago, um, but they added you can play a whole board game with other people online
mm.
as an update. And so what people are saying is like, oh, that seems kind of suspicious. Maybe they're like testing out the code for if they were to make a Super Mario Party 2 online
Mm.
functionality that could be pointing at that.
Yeah, I think that's what most of the people were complaining about in the first game, not having online functionality initially. They're like, "What
Yeah,
is this?"
it seems like the
There's like
base
there's always the Switch
first
commercials where
mistake.
you're playing with your friends, and it's like worldwide pandemic. I'm not gonna go play with friends. What play with friends even when they're not sick. But yeah. So outside of that, I think you had a couple studios you want to talk about, Nick.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where these guys fit in. So Arika, not Akira. I definitely almost said Akira a bunch of times, but it's Arika are the guys that made the Super Mario 35 Battle Royale. Zippo also in his rumor list was saying that there's going to be more of these Battle Royale style games coming.
They did Pac-Man
Possibly
and
like
Tetris, right?
yeah, there was the Pac-Man one recently.
And I think they did Tetris as well, right?
I think so. I think Tetris 99 was its own. Uh, Maybe that was Sakura though, or Africa. I don't know. Interestingly, I heard that like a a custom Mario Battle Royale game got like DMCA'd by Nintendo, like not but a couple of months before they announced Mario 35.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like kind of ironic maybe, but if you see any other games that get like DMCA'd by Nintendo, like pay some attention to it. Like, oh, that maybe that means Nintendo is actually working on that type of game, that type of content, and they didn't want the fan game to overshadow their official release. Uh, but yeah, we'll see. And then Team Cherry, this is the Hollow Knight guys, unfortunately. So they said in an official developer announcement on their Discord, lead developer guy said that there's not going to be any announcements that they will have for us at E3. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Now, people point out that technically, uh, they could still have a Mii fighter costume of the Hollow Knight or the Silk Song bug as fighter costumes because those aren't announced until Sakurai gives his Sakurai Presents thing where he goes over the moveset of the character, and that usually takes place like a week or so after
Yeah.
the reveals of the characters. So if characters are revealed, that there could still have some Hollow Knight content in
Right.
that
Right.
way, but we likely won't be seeing
Someday we'll get
Silk
Silk
Song
Song.
for Switch, right?
Um. All right. So other publishers that are not Nintendo. So Square Enix will have their usual presentation. Nick, I think you found that the entire presentation might have leaked early.
I heard about this. We haven't actually heard any follow up from that, but there's just been a lot of leaky ships
Yeah.
with these developers recently. But
Yeah. Keep it contained, guys. Just a couple of days. Stop digging. Just wait till like
right,
middle June. It'll be fine.
people
Um.
are opening their Christmas presents
I
early,
know.
but I don't
Ridiculous.
know.
Uh. So we know there'll probably be a Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker trailer. They'll probably summarize all the stuff that was at the Final Fantasy digital event. That they basically at that event a couple weeks ago they announced a bunch of stuff through the latest Final Fantasy 14 expansion that's coming out this fall. So I think they'll take this opportunity at E3 to just kind of abbreviate that whole keynote, all that info into a trailer, and we'll see that obviously. We will see Final Fantasy 16 info probably. We don't know much about that other than the trailer we saw. What was that? The Sony? That was like the PlayStation experience, right? That they had that trailer.
Yeah, the
I think
random
so.
where it was like, oh, we hate the crystals again.
Yeah, I think that was at the Sony the PlayStation Experience stream. We saw it initially,
It's a while
just to
back.
kind of
Yeah.
just to kind of say, hey, you know, we have more Final Fantasy exclusives. They're ours. Xbox can't get them.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
And then we'll probably get some Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 info. And when you can start paying for that. Dragon Quest 12 info probably.
Yeah, that
That
was
was announced
announced
recently.
randomly. Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't just hang on till E3, but we'll probably get some info on how that's going and probably some gameplay trailers out of it. So there's been a couple rumors. A Final Fantasy Souls-like game is in development, something like similar to Dark Souls, but in the strain of Final Fantasy. That would be awesome. I mean, we're already kind of pushing the boundaries more and more for an action RPG with the Final Fantasy series. So, and diverging a bit from the JRPG format. So I that would be cool. I mean, Dark Souls is made in Japan. Is a Japanese RPG?
Technically.
Is it a JRPG?
I feel like it's just become its own genre.
Yeah, sort of. So we have another rumor that a major PS5 exclusive Final Fantasy game is going to be announced. So who knows? That could be this Souls game. This Final Fantasy Souls-like game could be a PS5 exclusive. And most of the time these Final Fantasy games aren't exclusive. They're timed exclusives, and they will come to Xbox someday. Someday. Maybe usually it's about a year is the timed exclusivity. But so don't lose all hope if you own an Xbox. Crystal Dynamics is one of Square Enix's subsidiaries. They are probably working on some more Marvel Avengers updates to try to get people to actually play that game. There's been rumors they're working on a new Marvel game, Guardians of the Galaxy. I wish they'd stop personally. I I I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of Marvel fans that enjoyed it, but I don't think that's Crystal Dynamics' strengths. I don't think they're playing to their strengths here. I think they were doing really good with the Tomb Raider series, and I think they should bring them back on for it, or give them a new IP even that's not Marvel related in any way, please.
It seems like the games have like a lot of good callbacks and references to the stories, but the gameplay is just not. And it's like a loot box too. Like
Yeah, I mean,
Battlefront.
from what I heard, the single player was really good. Like people enjoyed the story and the single player, but it felt like it was cut short on people to make way for that multiplayer experience, which nobody really wanted. So, Eidos Montreal is the studio that worked on Shadow of the Tomb Raider in place of Crystal Dynamics that usually develops it. They kind of took over on development for Tomb Raider. I hope they don't anymore, because I mean, Shadow I heard was pretty good, but we know Eidos Montreal for working on the Deus Ex series, and I hope they go back to that for Mankind Divided Part 2. Because Mankind Divided, if you played it, it has a huge cliffhanger. It's very short. They planned to continue the series with the next entry, but they had to halt development to work on the next Tomb Raider. So hopefully they will go back to Deus Ex. There is also what is the Hitman studio? There's probably the Hitman 3 just came out, right?
Yeah, it had some DLC and stuff.
Yeah, so that is IO Interactive. Hitman 3 just came out this year. It came out in late January. I have not played any of the Hitman reboots. I don't really have any comments on that. I think Jamar has, so maybe he can give some insight on that later. I would imagine they're just still doing updates on that game. Ubisoft will probably have a big flashy opening and not many games of substance. Um,
Maybe
they're
there's Assassin's Creed
well,
Canada
Assassin's
or
Creed
something.
came
I
out
don't know.
last year. Assassin's Creed Valhalla came out last year, and they seem to be giving them a
Yeah,
little bit of a breather between Assassin's Creed games now. So
that's good. Actually,
I
right?
would say we won't
Not
see
announcing
any.
it.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
we don't see any more Assassin's Creed news. Maybe they'll announce it, but I would say it's not coming. I don't think we'll see a new Assassin's Creed till winter 2022 ish.
okay.
Which I don't really like the route they've gone with those anyway, so I don't care. Far
Yeah,
Cry 5, wait, no, 6? Far Cry 6 just came out recently, so I don't think we'll see anything on Far Cry for a while. Like all their big series, like just launched the game in 2021 and late 2020, so I'm not sure what they'll have to show. I mean, they may have a new Tom Clancy. They may resuscitate Tom Clancy from the grave once again and
bring
get
it
him
back.
to write another game. Um, I mean, they're kind of due another Rainbow Six because Siege has been out like what 5 years now. I think it came out in 2016 or 2015. So uh, Rainbow Six probably do a new game. Ghost Recon Wildlands came out not too long ago. I think in like 2019. So I don't know what else. Oh, it came out in 2017. Oh my god! Wow. So Tom Clancy's dude got to get working on some stuff. Like Death cannot slow down production. Um, so we also talked about Sega with a new Sonic. What they may also be working on is maybe another Valkyrie Chronicles follow up. That would be cool. Sega has so many subsidiary studios under their belt that I didn't really dig deep into what they could be working on. I was kind of like just let them do their thing. We'll see what happens. But they have a lot of subsidiaries. They also make a lot of strategy games. We may see like a new 40K game or who knows. Wait, do they? I think they own the 40K series. 40K. Okay. I mean,
Okay.
we may get a maybe they don't. They do the Total War series, so yeah. Um, they also have Yakuza team under them. We may see info from Yakuza team on what they're working on because Like a Dragon just came out. So well, it came
That
out.
one was
Like
pretty
it
well
didn't just come
received.
out, but it came out a little bit ago.
Yeah, that's interesting because it was a totally different like battle style and all from the previous
Yeah,
Yakuza games.
yeah.
I don't know
It was
where
sort of
the next one will
a
go.
new beginning because the yeah.
I guess if they'll go back to the classic style of the earlier
Maybe.
games, or
I mean, Kiryu's
also try
retired,
being
so it's like, would it
yeah.
ever be the same without Kiryu? Can they even go back? So Bandai Namco, I don't know what they're working on. Probably another shitty anime fighter. Um, they're also working on Blue Protocol, which is a action RPG of some sort. Um, I want to say they're taking a lot of notes from how Code Vein went, and they're working on Blue Protocol. I really don't know enough about it. I should have looked at it more. But
Okay, this is
it's
the
an
one that
MMO,
looks like
right? It's an
it looks like
MMORPG.
Genshin. Yeah,
Genshin
I
looks
think
like Blue Protocol, is what you're telling me?
maybe that would be. I mean, I'm assuming that the world is going to be bigger than just this like
So we have
base
a
background.
Japanese Genshin killer.
I mean,
I don't think it's going to
that'd
be
be great.
gacha though. I think it's going to be like more of an
That'd be
MMO.
fair.
Um, so
Yeah,
we'll
we'll see where that
see.
goes.
I don't know how much
Yeah, very anime
experience
style.
Bandai Namco has with MMOs. So it's really a toss up, and there's a lot of big MMOs coming soon. Like we've got New World, we've got Blue Protocol, we've got Fantasy Star on Online 2, New Genesis, and a slew of others I'm forgetting right now. But So there's a lot of MMORPGs coming, so it's going to be a tough battle to stay relevant. Xbox will be announcing no games as usual. Well, we'll probably get some more info on hopefully on the Fable reboot. I believe the Forza studio was working on the Fable reboot, so hopefully we'll get more info from them. We may see a new Forza. I know another Forza was in development as well. Gears of War is probably due a new entry by this point. I would imagine. So there's probably gonna be an announcement there. Maybe a date on the new Halo. Maybe the launch title. So
Right.
missed
Hopefully the
just
Xbox
overshot
One
the
X,
launch window a little bit. Bethesda.
They tried to divide by infinity or something.
Oh yeah,
Really
didn't work. Didn't work. Bethesda, which is now an Xbox studio, yay! Arcane Studios still working on Deathloop. We don't have a date yet. I don't believe it's been pushed back quite a bit. I think COVID's caused a lot of delays, so I'm sure Deathloop will be coming soon, maybe near the end of this year. Ghostwire, we don't really have a lot of information on at all. We'll probably get a slew of new trailers for that and some more gameplay. They've had a I really like the look of Ghostwire, and I hope we get it this year. ID Software is probably working on a new Wolfenstein, since they just came out with the new Doom isn't so new anymore, so I would imagine they're working on a new Wolfenstein, because Wolfenstein Colossus came out a while back at this point. So the new Wolfenstein, I would imagine, will probably get announced. Bethesda's in-house studio is probably, I think, Elder Scrolls 6 will get an announcement. We've heard a lot of Elder Scrolls 6 rumors and news since they got acquired by Xbox. Most importantly, that Elder Scrolls 6 will probably not be on PS5, because that's the main thing. Thanks, is that Deathloop and Ghostwire are PS5 timed exclusives, and they will probably be the last Bethesda games to really hit the PS5, unless Sony finds a way to make a deal with Xbox, which they really hate doing that. They really hate anything to do with cross-platform and stuff like that. That's interesting. But so if there is a new Wolfenstein, might not be on PS5. If there's a new Elder Scrolls, might not be on PS5. Starfield, definitely not gonna be on PS5. We have not got Starfield news in so long, so maybe we will see something. The ZeniMax Online Studios, that's the studio that does Elder Scrolls Online. I believe the new expansion is called Blackwood, and we may get an announcement trailer for that. Sony, Santa Monica Studios is probably working on the next God of War game, and I think we're probably about at the right time for an announcement trailer. I bet they're probably only about the middle way of production or early in production of it, but it's about time.
Really well.
Yeah, I think they're gonna keep it. Yeah, they're gonna keep the dad format. Okay. So they're probably gonna keep that.
It's a known seller.
Horizon from Guerrilla Games will probably get. I think they'll give them an actual release date for Forbidden West this E3. I think
that'd be cool,
because it was planned to be near launch or a launch title. So I think we'll get a release date for probably winter. There's going to be a lot of big games this winter, I think.
They're just waiting to hear when Breath of the Wild 2 gets released, and then they're going to release 1 month later, like they did when the original Breath of the Wild came out first, just to show them out. Like they're both good games. They go in different ways.
Yeah, but it's just we may get something
get announced around and like release both now again at about the same time.
Yeah. So we'll see on that one. We may get a couple trailers for Ratchet and Clank, since it's coming out, I think, in July. Yeah, it's coming out. It's coming out it's coming out right before E3. It's coming out on the 11th of June. So
with
that's Insomniac. So they've probably been working on that, and then they'll start working on a new Spider-Man. But I doubt we'll get a Spider-Man announcement this E3. Naughty Dog is hopefully working on a new IP. Please God, stop beating Uncharted and Last of Us to death, to undeath. They said they were done with Uncharted, and then they came out with another Uncharted game, and it's just please, nobody wants to play any more Uncharted games. I don't want to play more Uncharted games. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I don't want to play them. I have this weird like hate relationship with like Uncharted. Like it's like I hate the games, but I keep playing them, and I finish it, and I'm like, why did I play this? I didn't like any of it.
It's a very like movie like a game,
Yeah,
but
I mean, you have to be really
set pieces and
immersed in
stuff
the
is good.
story. It's a very like
Right.
cinematic experience, and The Last of Us is like that too. I kind of want them
Yeah.
to go back to an action platformer style that they're known for with Crash and Jack and Daxter,
Yeah.
but
You're right.
I doubt it.
We'll
I've
save that
I'm
argument for that.
I've taken a very negative stance against Naughty Dog over the years, but uh, the Last of Us remake news, maybe The Last of Us One, which doesn't really need a remake, is getting a remake. If you didn't know, we may
Sure.
even get some news of the next Flick series on there on the E3 stream. I don't know. I don't know if that's really the time and place, but it'd be better than anywhere else to shill for it, I guess. Um, Babylon's Fall was announced by Platinum 2018 2017. It was a long time ago. um I feel like it was a long time ago, but it was a it was an exclusive to PS4, I believe, and it was planned to be a Sony exclusive, so I think that's still the case. They were Platinum was asked on like how development's going, and it's apparently going well. So maybe we will get more info on Babylon's Fall soon. It looked very, from what I remember, it looked kind of like Souls inspired, but in a Platinum, combat way. So we'll see on that. Platinum has quite the backlog right now, so we'll see. Capcom is probably working on Resident Evil 8 DLC like they did with Resident Evil 7. They're probably also working on the Resident Evil 4 remake, which they announced a while back, right?
Oh yeah, then would be the next one to remake, I guess.
Well, I think they announced it actually. Like we got I think we got like a little trailer for it.
Okay.
I don't remember. My brain is mush.
Yeah, I know Resident Evil 8 has been uh, really good reception, though not
Maybe it hasn't been
doesn't
confirmed by
have like
Capcom, but
what everyone wants. They tried to like combine sort of more horror from 7 with some of the more fun random stuff
I
from
think I want them to make
earlier
Resident
Resident Evil
Evil
games.
4 more horrifying because it is not scary.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance, I guess, between like you're still playing a video game, so you still want to be able to shoot the zombies, but then
Mm-hmm.
like the resource management and all of that.
And Resident Evil, wait, was Resident Evil 2 and 3 over the shoulder view, or did they change it? There was still over the shoulder, right? Still over the shoulder tank
I'm not
controls.
the biggest
I think it
like
was
historian on that, so
because
possibly.
because 7 was first person,
Okay.
so
And then going back to 8 then
mm-hmm.
is over the shoulder.
No,
With
8 Resident Evil 8 I think is also first person.
Oh, actually, never mind. Oh, you're right. You're right. Because yeah, his hands keep like you keep seeing his
Yeah,
arm gets chopped
yeah,
off.
you see Ethan's
Oh
hands,
no.
and they chop
Yeah.
off his hand, and and 7, but I think the 2 and 3 remakes were third person, and are they going to do the same with 4? Are they going to take it? Well, that'd be really interesting if they just completely redo 4 and then make it first person. It'd be really weird to play as Leon that way, but I guess we'll see. You actually get to play as Chris in the Resident Evil 7 DLC in first person. You just punch zombies out. But
That'd be
um,
fun.
Jamar would know more about this, but Capcom's probably in development on Street Fighter 6. I don't know how far in development they are. And the other game division they have at Capcom, which usually works on the Monster Hunter games, is also works on the Dragon Dogma games, and we're hoping Dragon's Dogma 2 is in development. It did get a Netflix series in 2020, so we're hoping that like was kind of a hint that it's being worked on and it's coming soon. The guy who directs the Devil May Cry games is the guy who directed Dragon's Dogma, and he said he was ready to work on a new title right as he was about to work on Devil May Cry 5. 6. Wait, 5. Yeah, 5.
Okay.
So hopefully now that he's done with Devil May Cry 5, he can move on to Dragon's Dogma 2, which everybody cares about. I know. And I think that's about it. That's about like everything my brain can process for
That's
possible.
a lot.
I need water.
I mean, it's gonna be exciting. I guess.
I mean, this goes without saying. All the indie games that could get announced, all the surprise announcements. I'm already thinking of a couple studios I could have talked about, but I'm just gonna stop here.
It's gonna be interesting. We have a couple of extra anime news to go through really quickly. Just if Justin were here, he would have more interesting anime news. Maybe we got the announcement today. Dream, popular Minecrafter, admitted that he did cheat in his big controversial. It was like more important back in December, but I remember like everyone was just talking about, did this guy cheat? They're doing all this math and astronomers were being called in and all this stuff. He was just like milking it for more subscribers and all this stuff. And sure, yeah, it was pretty obvious that he cheated, but now he finally admitted it. If you, oh gosh, if you remember High Guardian Spice, so this was like a Netflix anime where it's like, oh, it's very, got all the LGBT themes. We have a like women led animation team. If we have men on our team, then we're going to pay them less just to spite the wage gap sort of show. But it's getting an update. It was canceled originally, but they recently started getting back on Twitter. It's like if this is themes, I know that there are a lot of people that want definitely more diversity in shows and all, and it's tricky because this one seems to not handled all that well. But if you are wanting it to succeed and potentially to show the investors, that this is something that we want to have more of in other shows, it may be something that you want to watch and keep up with. Perhaps a better case of it was like with the Shira reboot actually did pretty well, and it showed, maybe having more diversity, body types, and everything. That's it's just how the world is. It turns out in the '80s, all the characters in shows that were primarily designed to sell toys, they had like cookie cutter body shapes, but also because it saved them money in the plastic injection molding of the actual characters. So if everyone looked the exact same, then they could use the same molds to literally make out the toys. But it turns out like the real world, that's not how things are. So I think it's a good sign that maybe we'll be getting more anime, and I think this is a Netflix show with more diverse casts and things like that. But we'll have to see where that goes. Infinity Train as well. I had mentioned it last time. It became the #1 trending hashtag on that day. But we haven't got any updates. The like Cartoon Network, they're saying like, oh, no one really wants adult animation these days. But it's like we were just talking about Invincible, and it has been like the #1 show on Amazon Prime for weeks, and it's very adult. Infinity Train never even came close to that sort of like the violence and everything, but it was still is pushing the boundaries, and it's more for a like teen demographic that a lot of these big networks just don't acknowledge exists. So like it's either for kids or it's for adults, and there's no in between. But it's not really what the case is. So we'll see if it gets a final season 5 that could actually wrap up the rest of the story of the previous 4 seasons. the creator Owen Dennis was saying that he had a lot of story left over. There's a video game that was planned, but we'll see what actually ends up happening. So I think that is it.
Woo!
In terms of news and
We
everything.
did it. Wow. Imagine if we had like the other two people who are usually on this podcast. It'd be ridiculous.
It maybe would have taken a bit more time. They definitely have more insight into these things, but this one is kind of just more of a
some of these things.
roundup.
I think I did a pretty damn good job. I think we did a pretty damn good job. We don't need them.
I hope so.
We don't need them. Who? Who's not on here? So just a couple announcements for Meetup. The damn elections are starting now. So if you are going to vote for the future of this group, then do so now. You have to be a member for at least 3 months to be able to apply to be a voter. And you have to be a member for at least 6 months to be able to submit your application for a staff position. So I believe so. Let me confirm.
That sounds about right.
I think that sounds right. Confirm yourself on the page that is in the Discord link. But I think I'm on track here. But yeah, so elections, good stuff. Our next June discussion meetup is posted, so go ahead and post your suggestions for what our new anime of the month should be, and we will watch it at the end of the month as per usual, or review it at the end of the month. We won't watch it. Watch it before the end of the month, not like me.
Make sure it's clear.
So there is go ahead.
Round 1 meetup. It's not an official one, but if you check out Meetup Suggestions channel on the Discord as well, I think Kimani is the one that's organizing that. That's probably going to be I want to say it's June 15th, but don't quote me on that.
Okay.
People kind of just in general in different channels have been organizing smaller group. I think
smaller
we have
get-togethers, yeah.
So just keep up to date.
Yeah.
Follow those.
I mean,
it's a good time.
If you're not fully vaccinated yet, please bring a mask. Or you know, bring a mask if you want to bring a mask. I mean, whatever. Yeah. So Saturday, June 5th will be the Hatsune Miku concert live stream. That I'll be holding that in our damn voice chat channels. That will be, I believe, on the anime live stream channel, because I don't think there's really a formal one for music. But yeah, so that'll be fun. Hopefully y'all can come on out to that. I will not be actually streaming the live stream because that just seems redundant. You can just go to the YouTube or Twitch link and watch it with us. So it'll be a watch along, and I'll provide the YouTube and Twitch links, and we can all watch it together. It'll be a lot of fun. Bring your glow sticks. Bring your Miku apparel.
Hatsune Miku figures.
Yeah, I've got some Hatsune Michael figures. I have a few. Yeah. Yeah.
Then there's a convention coming up, DreamCon, that's not associated with the Minecraft speedrunner, but it's about anime and gaming, and that's going to be in Arlington. If you've been missing out on conventions and stuff this year, I know the big ones are still kind of canceled.
When is Anime Frontier?
Oh, that's a good question. I want to say that's in the summer too sometime.
No.
But the
complete opposite. December.
One, December. Well, that would explain it. I know this one has like limited tickets coming up. Like Justin was kind of assuming it was already going to be sold out by today, but I checked the website at least yesterday. It did allow me to still purchase tickets, but they're probably like, if you hear about it and you're not already signed up, like, and you're listening to this, go to that website if that's something you want to do and like sign up, because they may be out by the time this is posted.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Cool.
But yes.
All right. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for sitting through our E3 predictions. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Hopefully you learned a little bit about your favorite game studios, and hopefully we'll all have a lot of fun at the E3 announcements. But all right.
If you're watching this on Monday, Memorial Day, happy Memorial Day. Maybe in the future we'll be less reliant on oil, and so we won't have to go and fight in wars overseas, and we'll have less death to memorialize on. But sorry, that's maybe a bit too much tangent. But anyway, still, yeah.
All
Hope
right,
you all
all
have
right,
a good
y'all.
day. Yeah, have a good
Thanks
one.
for tuning in. Bye.
Yeah.